Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 1 killed, 4 injured in St. Mary crash. 5 persons were injured, 1 fatally, in a 2-vehicle crash along the Stewarton Main Road in St. Mary this morning. The victim has been identified as 29-year-old Sydney Conductor of Highgate in the parish. The 4 other persons who were seriously injured were taken to the St. Anthony Regional Hospital. The incident happened about 7 o'clock. The crash involved a taxi with passengers aboard and a Toyota Hiace bus. The impact of the collision caused the taxi to run off the road and crash into a ditch. The injured persons had to be cut from the damaged vehicle by firefighters who responded to the incident. The police also came to the scene. Clarendon businessman charged with housebreaking larceny. A 49-year-old Clarendon businessman was charged with housebreaking and larceny in relation to an incident which occurred in Burn District, Kelly's Clarendon on Monday, February 20. Charge is Wilbert Graham of Mason River in the parish. Reports are that about 7:20 a.m., a woman was at her house when Graham visited the house and tried to get into a section of the house. However, Graham could not gain entry. He then picked up a stone and used it to hit the padlock of the grill. Graham then gained entry to a room and took up a bag belonging to the woman. He also took a sum of cash from the premises and then left. A report was made to the police and an investigation launched. Following the investigation into the matter, Graham was arrested. He was subsequently charged after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. He is scheduled to appear before the Clarendon Parish Court on Wednesday, March 29. Skeletal remains found in St. Elizabeth. The skeletal remains of a man were found in Flagaman District in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. The remains are believed to be that of Chase Parchment, a 34-year-old farmer from Flagaman. Parchment had been reported missing to the police from January 2, 2022. Reports indicate that about 5 p.m. yesterday, a resident discovered the body in bushes in the rural district and called the police. Lawmen, upon arriving, saw the body clad in blue jeans, a grey hoodie, and a black pair of shoes. Police say a grey backpack containing clothing and an electoral ID belonging to the suspected victim was found at the scene. The scene was processed and the remains removed to the morgue. Pedal cyclist dies in Bagua collision. The police in St. Catherine are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of a pedal cyclist along the Nichols Main Road in Bagua. He has only been identified as Tallman. The police report that about 7 p.m. on Saturday, the man left an establishment and rode onto the roadway. While traveling along the road, he collided with a Toyota Hiace motor truck. He succumbed to his injuries. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. Family yearns for answers 3 years after Ian Blake's murder. It was almost the end of Ian Blake's shift. Preparing to head home, Blake was fixing something in his car outside his place of work on Wicker Road in St. Andrew on Wednesday, March 4, 2020, when a man walked up behind him and shot him in the head twice. Since then, his wife Gloria Blake has been left living in fear and hoping that the murder will be demystified. The woman moved out of their matrimonial home of 6 years the same night he was murdered. I don't live at the house anymore. The same night him dead and the same night me move. And it was a house that we just fix up and wanted to enjoy now. I just left it. I left because I am scared. I don't know why he died and I don't know if anybody's out there for me too. So I just take away myself, Mrs. Blake said. And that is it. I'm not aware of him and anybody having anything or so. I don't know if him and anybody have anything and he didn't tell me. It is just like that. I don't know. The police never did anything. They never did a thing. It was like they were confused themselves. If I am even going on the road, I charter somebody to carry me. I was scared and even now, I am just scared to pass his workplace. I passed there the other day and I didn't even want to look over there. I'm just scared, she continued. The couple lived together for 7 years before getting married, and Blake was the father figure to his wife's 4 children. Sometimes they, the family, are still sad. It is on and off thing. It is rough, but I have to take it easy. Up to now, I don't know what happened. It was a good relationship. We did everything together. We went shopping together, eat together, everything. Every little thing. The only thing we don't do together is work. We had a very close and happy relationship, she related. Tanisha Rose, Blake's stepdaughter, who saw him 4 days prior to his murder, remembers him as decent. When I bought my house, he came with my mother to help me clean the entire house. He was also there when I got pregnant and got very sick. He came with my mother to help cook because I was in bed. He played a big role in my wedding, and he was so proud of me when I bought a house, got married, bought a car, and when I got pregnant. He was by my house the Saturday before he was killed, Rose told reporters. He wanted food and to watch a movie, so I gave him baked chicken with rice and put on a movie for him. He is normally in a hurry, but that day he wasn't. Now I look back, I wonder if he felt something was going to happen. I have not been coping well, but I've learned to live just as if he's still by my house, and I haven't seen him in a while. I found myself driving and seen men I thought was him, and I broke down in tears. I told my brother, and he shared that he also struggles with the same, she continued. Rose added that when someone you know is sick and they die, you are extremely hurt, but a part of you would have known somehow prepared. But this wasn't my experience. When someone you're told, see you soon, and literally meant see you next Sunday, so you can find out the gender if your grandchild is killed and you didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, and you don't know why, every part of your world breaks down. They say it gets better by time, but for me it gets worse. I am only remembering that he misses out more and more, things that he would be crazy about, like my little girl or my sister buying a car, she related, noting that he had a close relationship with his older brother and younger sister, both of whom called him dad. She expressed that their hurt is far greater than hers. Meanwhile, Mrs. Blake told reporters that her husband would usually leave work at 5 p.m. each day, but sometime after 4:30 p.m. on March 4, she received a phone call from doctors at Kingston Public Hospital. They said they were calling about Ian Blake. I asked them what it was, and they said it is nothing bad and I should just come. My son was saying when you get a call from hospital, it's never something good. I was thinking that maybe it was an accident. Gunshot was the last thing I was thinking about, she recalled. Mrs. Blake said she got ready, after which she and her son drove to the hospital. Still believing it was an accident, she checked the parking lot for her husband's vehicle. I went everywhere in the car park and I saw a car exactly like his, but it wasn't. It was a different license plate, she said. By the time her theory of the accident started falling apart, she then went to the emergency section of the hospital and saw a number of her husband's co-workers present. Upon her inquiry, they remained tight-lipped. I saw some of his co-workers, but nobody was telling me anything. All I get was, me can't tell you anything from them. All I asked was what happened. They kept saying that they can't tell me, so I started getting nervous. Shortly after, medical professionals invited me into an unoccupied room. I think it was 3 nurses and 2 doctors. When I went in there, they were asking if I was all right. Then they started telling me that Ian came in with gunshot wounds. When they opened their mouths and tell me that, I just went into shock. They are talking, but I don't know exactly what they were saying. They just continued to talk, she related. They then handed her his belongings, a phone and a wedding band, among other things. Up to that point, Mrs. Blake told reporters she still didn't understand that her husband was dead. When one of the doctors said that he was pronounced dead, we reached in a one different dimension. They were saying I should identify his body and I told them that I can't. My son went and did it, and when he was coming back, I just saw when he fainted. I couldn't manage, she stated.
When him get ready, as him reach outside, open him car, I think something in him car. Somebody just walk up behind him and shot him 2 times in the head. I mean, I will have him and nobody have nothing or something, you know. And when if nobody have anything and he never talk, but just like, we're married for 6 years and we lived together for 13 years. But we're not even back at the house. I'm the same night in there, and the same night we move. And it's that big, I mean, just fix up, you know, you just fix up your house and want to enjoy your house. But just leave it. I'm scared because I don't know how you guys. I don't know if them out to me too. So I'm just take for myself. If me even go on the road, we shot at somebody to carry me. I was scared. And right now, in my workplace, I'm just scared to pass in my workplace. And I passed the other day, and I'm not even want to look over there. We have a good relationship, we do everything together. Everything. Go shopping together, eat together, everything. The only thing I don't do together is go work.
Please remember, to subscribe, like, share, and